Good morning.
Good morning.
So we are going to do your pre-brief for your lesson today.
Okay.
So in terms of content, what do you plan to explore in your lesson?
We will be exploring identifying key details in a story, in a fiction story, and being able to answer questions based on those key details.
Okay. And what about in terms of pedagogy?
I will be using a question and answer to start off the lesson and engage the class. And then during the lesson, while I'm reading the story, we'll be doing kind of a questioning / classroom discussion. And then at the end of the lesson, we will be doing independent work where they will be writing a sentence and illustrating a picture to go with it.
Okay. So I heard you say that you are going to be working on identifying key details in fiction and then answering questions based off of those key details.
Mm-hmm.
And then in terms of pedagogy, you're going to do question answer, you're going to do a class discussion, independent work, and in that independent work you're going to have them write and then also do non-linguistic representation. They're going to be doing a drawing about what they read.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So in terms of your lesson, how do you see it envisioning, or how do you envision it unfolding? So what's going to happen first, second, third?
Okay, so in the beginning of the lesson, I will introduce the book. It's called A Porcupine Named Fluffy, and I will introduce the book to them and then ask them a few questions based on the subject and content of the story. Then I will start reading the story, and throughout the story I will be stopping and asking them questions about details that are included in the story. So I will stop at certain pages just in the middle of reading and asking them details about what we just read, seeing if when they were listening, if they could identify those details by listening to the story. And then at the end of the story, I will ask them, I will review with them what it means to be a detail in a story. And then I will have them go back to their seats. I will pass out a piece of paper with lines and a big space for drawing, and I'll ask them to identify their favorite or what they thought was the most important detail in the story, write a sentence about that detail, and then draw a picture with it as well so that they can kind of illustrate that in picture form.
Okay. So I heard you say that first you're going to introduce the book and ask questions just kind of about the content, about the subject. Next you're going to actually read the story and you're going to stop and ask questions throughout, just kind of getting them thinking about the important parts of the book.
Mm-hmm.
And then third, after the book is read, you're going to review what exactly a detail of a story is. You're going to have them go back to their seats. You're going to pass out a piece of paper with lines, and you're going to have them think about what they think the most important part of the story is, write a sentence about it, and then draw a picture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So when your lesson is fully enacted, what do you want your students to know, and how will you know that they know it?
I want them to know that it is important to pick out and pay attention to important details in a story to understand the story itself. And I also want them to be able to answer questions about key details in the story after listening to the story read aloud.
Okay, great. So you want your students to be able to pick out key details after reading a story, and you will know that they know this by answering those questions after reading.
Yep.
Okay, great. Thank
Awesome.
you.